Hello and welcome. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Lee Blake, and I'm the founder of Summer House Quickly and SMHQ Network. So that's what we're going to be covering in the next hour, and we'll probably we might extend it and send you another link for FAQs. If you've got any questions, please write them down or make a note of them. And at 8 until half 8, we're going to open the floodgates for questions because we've got quite a lot to go through. So, for those of you that don't know me, I'm not going to tell you exactly what SMHQ is. There's loads of stuff on our website. If you tell us that you want the links, we'll send you the links. There's loads. We've done loads of different webinars and stuff. So we're going to assume that you know a little bit about SMHQ, but this is just a little bit about me. I've had two property careers. The first one started in 1999 after I was living in Japan at the time, saving some money. And I went quite slowly into 2006. And then from 2016 until now, I had my second property career. And I started to take things a lot more seriously when I read Rich Dad Poor Dad and Property Magic by Simon Zucci. Before that, I had a clothing and a promotional company, and I learned how to do websites and search engine optimization, or SEO. And that's kind of, I put up loads of websites that I got to the top of Google, and my whole t-shirt printing and clothing business and promotional company business, 90% of our leads were from Google because I had many websites at the top of Google. And then when I did property, I did supported accommodation and I had a website called Homeless Rooms Birmingham. And again, we got that to the top of Google. So I've been doing that for over 15 years. Like I said, I read Rich Dad Poor Dad. And then my sons, which was great, but also scary at the time, got into private school. Well, the first one got into private school. And for those of you that follow me on socials, he was just 21, which means he's left private school now, which is great. Also, his little brother got into the private school. And all of a sudden, I had to make a lot more money than I was making. So I then started to study property properly. And it really helped me escalate my property career. And when I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, I don't know, for those of you that know, what's the golden rule number one that Simon Zucci talks about. Those of you that don't know, it is always buy from MS, which in our world, MS means motivated sellers. And that kind of really struck a chord with me. I was like, okay, yeah, that kind of makes sense. You make your money when you buy. So I kind of got fixated on that. So because I understood Google and websites, I negotiated hard and bought the website domain Sell My House Quickly. It was sold, it was gone, because it's a really good website. It's kind of SEO and Google heaven. And as a consequence, I was getting loads of leads from all over the United Kingdom. But I only really wanted to buy property in Birmingham, especially when my kids were young. I got some really, really good, cracking NMLI. For those of you who don't know, that means no money left in deals. And again, I didn't really know what I was doing back in the day, but it was just common sense to me. And excuse me, I managed to turn 100k remortgage into what's now about £3 million worth of land and property, just by doing no money left in deals. Not all my deals have been no money left in deals, of course. But yeah, I'm now kind of in the fortunate position that my cash flow is kind of sorted because of the property that I bought some of it years ago, some of it recently. I'm still buying, especially when I can get good deals. It's afforded me I've got several JV partners where I'm good at finding deals, and I always have been. And that's led to other people putting in the money and us sharing the profits. And it also meant that Simon Zucci and Hanif Khan invested in my business, Summer House Quickly, because they could see the potential. I wanted to do a little bit of a demo. So here's one I did earlier, but maybe you can play along with me, guys. So SEO is search engine optimization. And earlier today, I Googled Sell My House Quickly West Midlands. And this is what I saw. So if you're on your laptops at home, can you do the same? Can you just Google Sell My House Quickly West Midlands and tell you what you see? But let me just show you. So we've got 1, 2, 3. We've got the first 3 entries for that term on Google. And we've also got the Google business profile. And then, but obviously I'm in Birmingham and we target Birmingham and the West Midlands quite quite a lot. So we should expect to do well. But we've also got our Instagram page up here. So this is between that's the first page of Google that we're doing really well. And then the Google business profile is here. And, we're always posting on social media because that helps your kind of presence as well. So that's just a little bit of SEO stuff. But let's see, what about, we did this today with Sean and said, well, what about a place that we've never targeted? So we did earlier, and try this at home, SMHQ quickly Lincoln. So you can see we've got our main website, and we've built a page all about Lincoln, and that's top of Google, what I saw earlier, and this is incognito mode. And then we've built a site called East Midlands, and we targeted Lincoln there. So even in somewhere that we haven't really targeted, we managed to do okay. So the question is, if you're in Gillingham or Glasgow or Bath, I don't know, can you please sell your house quickly and your town and city? And if you ignore the sponsored ones, it's quite easy to be top of the sponsored ones. I never click on sponsored ones because I understand it. If I pay 20, 30, 40 pound per click, I can get top of Google with the sponsored. But if you Google your town and city SMHQ quickly and then put your town and city in, can you let us know if you see us on page 1 of Google? Just put it into the chat and say yes if you can see us, because we need to. Google gives you different results, whether you're logged in or logged out, whether on a new computer, whether on your home computer or work computer, and wherever are you in the country. Sean, I don't want to look at the chat because it'll mess me up. Can you tell us if anyone said they found us?
We have indeed. We got a few yeses. Yeah, one specifically for Worthing, and then a few other anonymous yeses.
Okay, cool. If you want to tell us where you are and if we're on page 1, that would be wonderful. And maybe DM us if we're not, and we can work on it. But that's cool.
Just to keep in mind, Lee, of course, if we don't have a specific licensee for an area, we won't have a dedicated website for that area yet.
Yeah, of course. So we haven't got a website for Lincoln. So let's go back to Lincoln. If any of you are in Lincoln, then if you were to buy SMHQ quickly Lincoln, we would build a totally different website. You can see this website is SMHQ quickly /SMHQ quickly Lincoln, like a sub page. This is East Midlands / Lincoln. But what we would do is build SMHQ quickly Lincoln.co.uk. And I can't guarantee, but I've got a strong hunch and a strong feeling based on what we've done, that your SMHQ quickly Lincoln site would go to the top, and then this site would get pushed down, and this site would push down, and this site would get pushed down. And our goal is that eventually, between our many sites, we'll dominate the whole the page 1 of Google and then get more leads. But yeah, that's a good point, Sean. So just want to know now a little bit about why I founded SMHQ quickly. So maybe some of you have this issue, loads of problems with fake gurus selling rubbish courses and costly solutions to finding motivated sellers or doing well in property. I was quite lucky that Simon Zucci is based in Birmingham, and I went to lots of PIN meetings where I live in Birmingham. There were 5 PIN meetings within a 45-minute drive. So I used to go to most of them every month and just learn loads. So, but I did almost get sucked in by some rubbish property gurus selling the dream. So I just got cheesed off with that. Of course, we've all seen like the dodgy deal sources just trying to source on right move deals, and it gets a bit tiring. Site Finder and Property Filter were around. If you don't use Property Filter, I think you're mad. Guillaume's a mate of mine, so I'm a bit biased, but it's a great piece of kit. We use it every day to do due diligence. We don't use it so much to find deals because we find our own deals. And Site Finder were around, so we use Site Finder all the time as well. I was just cheesed off with slow or stupid estate agents and dodgy estate agents taking like backhanders and stuff like that, or just never getting back to you. And I basically wanted to save loads of time, loads of money, save my energy, and I wanted to get direct to vendor. So, and also for me, I'd been building websites I have been building websites for over 15 years. Got staff in the Philippines that are really good. Sean is great at websites as well as lots of other stuff. So it kind of was a no-brainer for me. And I just wanted to get leads and deals and investors coming to me like directly, and I wanted to be in control. And also, I wanted to raise my profile and meet people, and that worked almost immediately. Like as soon as I got my first business cards, and I'm kind of laughing because compared to our business cards now, they're really good. But before, I just did it like myself, and they weren't that good. But as soon as I said to what I thought were like really when I was going to pin meetings and I was speaking to people, they were like, "Oh wow, that's a great website name," and blah blah. Oh, let's go for a coffee late, and it really helped me kind of muscle my way into the kind of the all the people going to pin, and it was like, oh, you're not just like average Joe. You kind of get motivated sellers coming to you, so it was really good. Um, so what I'm going to do now is talk about like the secret sauce and how we've done it and what we've done. We never used to kind of share this, and it's kind of not rocket science, but I've kind of started to share the secret sauce. And bear in mind, I've been building and tweaking and iterating this for over 10 years. So to get to the position that we're in today, we're getting motivated sellers contacting us every day. I know it's not easy and it's not an overnight thing, unless, of course, you join us. So yeah, I know it's not easy to replicate. And I know it's definitely 100% easier and cheaper to join us than to set up on your own. And there's lots of benefits to joining us, and which is what we hope some of you might do after today. So like then the first thing you gotta do, obviously, is just build a really good looking professional website. So hopefully you've all had a look at our website. It's not perfect. It could be better, and we're always changing it and improving it and A/B testing it to see which how we can convert more. But yeah, that's the first thing. If you're Simon Zucci, or if you I don't know, HMO daddy, and you've been doing property for years and years and years, then maybe you don't need a website. But people like me and lots of people I think on the call, having a really good professional website will definitely help you. We have spent ages, hours, years doing really good ethical SEO. So it's quite easy to buy to do dodgy SEO, but then you'll get blacklisted. Google will just say, see you later. And you could be on page one within a week or two or a month, but then you won't stay there. If you've done black hat techniques, we do white hat techniques. Everything is good. And it's all about building long-term good SEO. So sometimes I've used VAs in the Philippines or other countries, but I kind of say to them, we don't do anything dodgy, because I'm not into short-term wins. I'm into long-term kind of success. You have to create and populate social media channels. I tell everyone I've got a love-hate relationship with social media. Sometimes I love it and I'm on it, and at the moment I love it and I'm doing well and I'm posting consistently every day. Sometimes I might not do it for a while, but I've got to be more consistent, and that's my big thing for 2026, is to be far more consistent with the social media posting. But I've backed investors, I've backed deals, just from social media, just from doing a Facebook Live. And if you look at some of our old webinars, I'm not going to talk about any deals that I've done, but there's loads that I've done, loads of, like I said, no money left in deals. But I'm not going to talk about them tonight. I'm going to give the spotlight to some of our network members. But if you look at our old websites, we can send you all the links. Our old webinar, sorry. You can see some of the deals that I've done, and one of them is a cracking deal, and it was just from a Facebook post. So yeah, we do YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn. GBP is Google Business Profile, TikTok, and X. And again, you can start on your own and do it, or we can do it all for you. We will build all of that for you. And I think something that's becoming like a life skill is learn how to do social media marketing, and in particular Facebook ads or Meta or Instagram ads. If you're a bit like me, you're full of ideas, you can quite easily and quite cheaply test something out. But what we use it for, and Sean's a bit of an expert, and so is Dan, who are my right-hand man, is sending traffic to our website and getting leads from motivated sellers. So I think it's like really, really important to say on the pulse. Like when I first started, we used to use Google ads a lot. We don't use Google ads so much anymore, because like I said, it's 20, 30, 40, sometimes more per click. And it's really It's really competitive. We've tested stuff with LinkedIn ads, and that's been okay. But again, Google and LinkedIn can be really expensive. We find Meta is like way cheaper, although that is getting more and more expensive. But we're always tweaking and learning. I've been banned and unbanned, and I know what I did wrong. And back in the day, I used to wait, even when I did my clothing company, I used to waste hundreds, thousands of pounds on Facebook ads. And then they get rid of my content and stuff and ban me. But luckily for me, I've recruited some really good people in Sean and Dan who know what they're doing, and yeah, we're getting really good at doing Facebook ads now, and we're always tweaking and learning and iterating. So we'll run your Facebook ads for free for you because it's in our interest too. The more deals you do, the more deals we will do. And there's big news, and a big dog is entering the ad space, and that is, and some of you might know this. I've been talking about it for a couple of months. There's been rumors, but I think I saw something that it's been confirmed that shortly, within weeks, ChatGPT is going to start running AdWords, which is a bit of a game changer. And there's rumors that they're going to do it like really, really cheap, and that Facebook and Google are going to have to follow, because people like me and us will be saying, well, why are we, especially Google, why are we spending 20, 30, 40 pound a click when we could spend maybe £1 a click? So we're researching that right now because we want to kind of really go crazy on that. And we're going to tell all our network members, maybe let's do a little bit of Facebook spend, but let's do more ChatGPT spend, especially if the price goes down. And if the price war happens, then yeah, it's make money while the sun shines. Okay, while the sun shines. Sorry. And then one of the last things that I suggest you do is get a world-class CRM system. That's really kind of revolutionized our business. It saves so much time. Our CRM system that everybody gets that comes into our network, it helps to triage, close, and follow up leads, even when the leads maybe you think are dead. Every month, anyone that comes into our system, sometimes while I'm asleep, we send the system sends an SMS or a WhatsApp or an email, sometimes all three, to the person that said, "Listen, I don't want to sell for 25% below market value, but after maybe 3 months or 6 months of paying the mortgage, paying standing charges, not having any rent come in, potentially being vandalized, paying the council tax, then people get more motivated in time. And when the system does the follow-ups for you, it just makes it so much more easy. And if we have time, we might do a demo of our CRM later because it's really good. If not, we might do another session and show you the CRM because it is like really, really good. So just want to tell you a little bit now about like the kind of first iteration of SMHQ Quickly, which finished around August or September. We're now on SMHQ 2.0. But what we learned from the first iteration was that some of the licensees weren't triaging quickly enough. So we used to let, if you had, I don't know, SMHQ Quickly Birmingham, then the lead would come direct to you. But what we found is that some of our people were full-time teachers or plumbers, or they worked in a factory, or I know they had full-time jobs. So they couldn't always speak to motivated sellers. So first of all, we put in more training to say, listen, you really need, and Sean did loads of research, said like, if you get back to people within the first 4 minutes, you're something like 400% more likely to close them, to do the deal, and they're not going to go elsewhere if you can stop them going elsewhere. So we kind of, we did the research, and if you call people instantly, or if you stop them phoning others, or you get back to them within 4 minutes, then your conversion starts to go crazy. And also, we did training about how to do due diligence in minutes, and people that take days or weeks to do deals or think about deals or dilly-dally a lot. If you're like that here, then you're not for us. You've got to know your area and be an expert in your area and know what the average price for a 3-bed semi is versus a 1-bed flat. That's really, really, really important. And like I said, I now do due diligence in, if it takes me 10 minutes, I'm like, I'm getting slow. So if anyone needs a bit of help with that, with all the software, especially property filter, then it's really easy to do quickly. But sometimes it's a mindset thing and people just don't want to do deals. But yeah, I do, especially if they're 25, 30, 40% BMV, which is some of the ones that I'm going to talk to you about in a minute. This is really important. If you've got a motivated seller, can you view it the same day? If not the same day, within 1, 2, 3 days, or as soon as they can allow you to view it, you should be around there like a red rag to a bull. Then yeah, we kind of put in we want the heads of terms, a deposit sent, and legals instructed all within the same day. So we're not messing about. We've got the lawyers who are used to doing deals quickly. We pay them a little bit more than average, but if it means we get 30% off the price of a house, it's well worth it. We've got the bridging companies. We don't really use brokers. We just go direct to the bridgers, and obviously they know what we do, and they know that we can find good deals, and they're happy to give us 90% of the purchase price, which is great. My son, when he was 19, bought a house because it wasn't for sale for 215, 200, 170. I offered them 130. My son bought it with a 90% bridge, and then 9 months later, I think we refinanced it and got 100. We paid 130 for it. We got 155 grand out, which is a great deal. And if you want to see that deal in the flesh, it's on the other webinars that we can send you. And then we try and get to exchange within 5 to 10 working days. And then we complete at the seller's convenience. Some people want to exchange and complete on the same day. You say we do that. Some people want 3 months to find somewhere, or 6 months, or they're moving abroad. So yeah, we say to the seller, we'll give you the certainty, we'll give you speed, we'll give you certainty, and we will never ever change the price at the last minute, because lots of our competitors do that. So that's the kind of things that we learned from 1.0. So when we launched SMHQ 2.0, we changed it slightly. Well, no, we made big changes, and we said we'll do central triaging. So that's why you've got myself, Sean, Dan, and at the moment, Andy and Rick, who work in the central sales team. And that means it's less work for our licensees, because they don't have to do, or if they've got jobs, or if maybe they're on holiday or whatever, we'll do all the triaging. And it's almost like having a really good property answering, like a receptionist who knows lots about property, which we all do. We know what an exchange and delayed completion is from a lease option, and we're good at reading people and providing solutions. So yeah, and we're always looking for talent. If you're like really good at sales and you want a bit of a part-time job, then let me know. We also decided to make the towns and cities much cheaper. So for instance, Birmingham used to be £10,000, but we reduced it to £2,000, and some towns and cities are only £1,000. And then we also introduced regional operators, and I'll talk a lot more about that in a little bit. We divided the country to the 16 regions. So it's the 9 regions such as Southeast, Southwest, but it's also the places like Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland, and London. We divided into 5 areas. So like I said, that's the cost of the towns. So you get a really good website, and just to give you like a comparison, if you wanted to get a good looking website that converts like ours does, I know it would cost you a lot more than £1,000 or 2,500. I spoke to a woman the other day, and she paid £1,400 just for one landing page that was pretty rubbish. And our CRM alone, if you wanted to buy that because it's good, it will cost you 800 quid. So to pay £1,000 or even 2,500 for everything that we give you, I think it's a really good deal. The region's a bit different. It costs £12,000, and these are both plus VAT. But you can earn a lot of money and commissions on every deal in your area. So we'll talk more about that. But it's as well as all the deals you can do within a big, massive region, not just a town, but the whole of the West Midlands. Then if we've sold Birmingham, you can make a little bit of money on every deal that gets done. And we also decided that we really need to sweat every lead better, and there's several ways to do that. But the one that we've just started to do is auctions, and I'll talk about that later. And soon in 2.0, we're going to do AI calling. So one or two of our members have been saying, come on, let's do AI calling. And if I'm honest, I looked at it maybe 9 months ago, but it was a bit rubbish. But AI has changed so much. And I met a guy at the weekend and I tested his software and it was great. So, for instance, I don't know, you guys might know this, but one of our USPs is that we get local people like you guys that live in the town or city or the region, and it's easy to build rapport. I think that that's really important to me that we build rapport. People buy from people. Um, but AI, I thought it's an American accent. You can get a British accent, but now you can get regional accents. So if we say Summer House quickly Scotland, we can put a Scottish AI in it. I'm still going to make the first initial call has to be from a human, from one of us. But sometimes we don't always get through to people straight away. And then we'll turn on the AI or maybe overnight. We get lots of leads at night. People maybe can't sleep or they're just, I know they work night shifts. And obviously we don't go after 8 p.m. We don't call anybody. That's our policy. But maybe we could give them the option of speaking to the AI and we can triage the leads and then straight away in the morning do the due diligence, put the call in and try and get a viewing. But sometimes we don't need to view. I know like when you're big time in property like Simon and Hanif, maybe I've never bought a property without seeing it because like I'm not that brave, but some people do. So yeah, yeah, I've got a question actually about AI. Just maybe just send me a DM. Is it probably all of us now have spoken to AI, but should we tell people, hi, this is SMHQ AI, or should we kind of just pretend it isn't? It is really lifelike and they can do accents and they can do different languages. And they say, oh, sorry, didn't quite get that. But I'm doing some market research to say, should we say, hey, this is AI calling you and I can put you through to a human if you want? Or do we just kind of try and ignore it? What would you guys do? Maybe just put it in the chat and Sean can tell me in a bit. Okay, so this is we did this deal sheet summary, and it's a little bit of a breakdown of what we believe the value is of what we're offering. So once again, to buy a town or city, it's only £1,000 to £2,500. And even that, every area in London is £2,500, but lots of big cities are only 2K or 1,500. Some of them are £1,000. But like I said, if you wanted to do a professional website, it's at least 1,500 quid. If you wanted Facebook ads management, we do that for free. It's at least £1,000, probably more. So this is what you would get. You get a professional website, you would get a professional email address, no more Yahoo or Hotmail. It's kind of Lee at Salma House quickly, and it just puts you in a different ballpark. I think you get all the branded social media profiles. We build them for you. You get the world-class CRM system, and we can triage leads on WhatsApp automatically while you sleep. All the follow-ups are automated as well. So there's no more. I used to be like this: pieces of paper, scraps of paper, different books and stuff. I don't do any of that now. Just everything lives in the CRM. And it's got an app on your phone, so I can run my business from my phone. If you follow me on social media, you'll see that what was it, in December, I was in Japan and China. And then last week, I was in Cape Town because it was my son's 21st birthday. And I was working, I was triaging leads, I was doing deals with motivated sellers from anywhere you've got the internet. It's great. As I said, the AI call is coming soon. We've got something called the SMHQ Academy. So any bit of training that we do, any deal clinic that we do on Zoom, it's all recorded and it all goes in the academy. So if you miss it live, you can just catch up with it like whenever you want. We do things like the Estate Agents Challenge and lots of live Zoom training. It all gets recorded and put in our academy, which is a bit like Kajabi for people that know PIN. Yeah, there's lots of deal clinics and there's peer support. We're almost trying to recreate Mastermind. I did Mastermind 29. It was really great. It helped me a lot. But I kind of missed it when it finished. And that's what we're trying to do with Summer House quickly. Nobody really competes because we're all in different geographic areas, but everybody's quite caring and sharing. And if you've got a problem or what should I say, all our calls are recorded. So we quite often can listen back to the calls. And if you've got a really good one, we'll highlight it and say, let's do a deal clinic. I know that we haven't done this yet, but Steve, who hopefully is on, he said to me, oh, listen to this call that I did. And I said, like, this is textbook. It was brilliant. You had the seller eating out of his hands. And it's no wonder Steve and Roisin are doing deals because they can communicate. You get all of our templates. So if you need business cards, flyers, and posters, and you know, all that kind of stuff, then you don't have to pay graphic designers because we've got it. And like I said, it's just £1,000 or 2,500 plus VAT. But then we changed it slightly. It's now a 2% of the purchase price comes to us. And that's because that guarantees that we're in your corner helping you do deals. So we reduced the price a lot, but we increased we call it a deal fee, a deal commission fee. But like I said, that means that we are motivated. But 1% of that 2% that we take off you goes to the regional operator. I'll talk more about that in a minute. If you sell the deal at an auction or you sell it to someone else as kind of like a deal sourcer, if you're going to do a lot of deal sourcing, then you should be a compliant deal sourcer. And there are different fees that will apply there. But if you do more of the work, then you'll keep more of the commission. We'll take a little bit, and all those are spelled out in our terms and conditions. And if you need to see them, send us a DM and we'll send it to you. If you do town and cities, there's no compulsory that you've got to spend marketing, but it's a bit like how long's a piece of string. The more marketing that you do, the more leads that you'll get. So we recommend that you allocate maybe £10 a day for maybe 1 or 2 weeks of the month to run Facebook ads. Again, we'll run it for you. You don't need to know, you don't need to learn. It'll take you ages to learn it and to do it properly, but we'll plan them, we'll do all the artwork. You just pay for the spend. You don't pay us anything for running them, because again, if you get a deal and you make excuse me, if there's a 200 grand house that you buy for 150 and you give us 2% of the purchase price, but you've made 50-60 grand, then it's a good deal. So that's why we do it for free. Now, if you're a regional operator, it's a little bit different. And we've got this table on the side kind of showing you kind of how much money you may be able to earn. So let me just talk you through. You get all the previous benefits, you get the website, but you also get, let's talk about the West Midlands, because Stephen Roisin helping us out. You get the entire region of West Midlands and one free town or city. So they chose Coventry. So they now run SMHQ Coventry. We've got a website for Coventry and SMHQ West Midlands, but they're the regional owners. They paid us £12,000, but the deal fee is cheaper. Instead of 2%, they only give SMHQ 1%. They get all the leads from no man's lands. So let me try and explain this. So they have Coventry. Next to Coventry, there's like what we call, and maybe between Coventry and Birmingham, there's maybe Solihull and some other little places and villages. But we work on postcodes. So Andy owns Birmingham and all the Birmingham postcodes. They own all the Coventry postcodes. Jimmy owns all their Solihull postcodes. But there are loads of postcodes that are in no man's land that nobody owns. So the regional owner then gets all those leads. So anything from the no man's lands or no postcode has been bought, then that automatically goes to the regional owner. So it's a guaranteed rate. Although you give us £12,000, you definitely are going to get leads, probably too many leads to deal with. You get all the leads that the town and city folk can't do. So if Jimmy is sick or Jimmy is on holiday and a lead comes in Solihull, we'll send it to Jimmy, but if he doesn't action it, it'll then get sent on to the regional owners. So you can suck up loads of leads. Again, if you sell the deal, if Steve Roisin or the regional people sell the deal, don't do the deal themselves, but they sell it or they refer it to auction, then the different fee table applies and we can publish that. If you're a regional owner, you've got to spend at least £200 a month on Facebook ads. And again, we'll do all the admin for you. You don't need to do it. And I wanted to say this. I did this little table earlier. So there are something like 70 towns and cities in the West Midlands. And we did this little model to say if we only sold 10 of those 70 towns and cities, and everybody in all those 10 towns and cities did one deal and kept it for themselves at the average house price and sold a deal as either on Site Finder or through our WhatsApp group, then number one, we'll give, if Stephen Roisin helps us sell all the areas or some areas, we'll give them a commission for every sale that they bring in. Then this is if they get 1% of every deal that's done in Solihull, then they would get a £3,000 fee for that because it's 1% of the average house price, and Solihull is quite an expensive area. So they could earn 16,500 just from only 9 or 10, excuse me, 9 or 10 deals being done in their area, just on the 1%. If everyone sells a deal and doesn't keep the property for themselves, but they sell that deal, then they'll get a commission again, and they can get £11,000. So 11,700. Oh, sorry, Google. So let me just go this. It's talking about football. Forgive me. Starts in 5 minutes. Thank you. So all in all, if we only sell 10 towns and cities, and if everybody does one deal themselves and sells a deal, they could earn £29,000. Okay, Alexa. Bear with me. So yeah, they could earn £29,000 just from 10 areas doing 2 deals each. But what happens if we were to sell 20, 30, 40? What happens if prolific deal sources come in? So that's the kind of magic of being a regional owner, because of course it doesn't account for any deals that they might do themselves. This is just commission on other people doing it. I'd like to say passive income, but number one, I don't really like that term. And they, Stephen Roisin as West Midlands, will run deal clinics and they'll give some support. So it's not 100% passive. But I told them about a deal that they didn't know about today. They've not been involved at all. And it looks like they're going to get 1,450 quid from it. And they didn't even know about it. I've done all the work, and the owner of Wolverhampton and William Hall have done the work. But you'll also get shares, the ability to own shares in the central SMHQ quickly, because our big plan is to build a big brand and exit it in 3 to 5 years for big dough. And then you'll set up an SPV. In Stephen Roisin's case, it will be SMHQ quickly West Midlands, and all those deal fees that we hope that will go through them, and some of them are starting to come already. You will own 49% of that. We want the golden share, because when it comes time to be bought out by a big boy, we'll all ride off into the sunset with some money. So that's our kind of long-term plan. And again, it's only £12,000 plus VAT, but you've got the ability to earn so much more. So what I want to do now is just talk about some of the deals that are going through Birmingham, West Midlands at the moment, because it brings what I've just said into life. So this is, I think the flat is actually at the back of this. I went to visit this with an investor last Friday. So Andy Potter has bought SMHQ quickly Birmingham. He paid just £2,000 for it. He's really good. He's really, really proactive. He's on it. He invested in marketing, and he does social media. He tells everyone what he does. He's going to go far, this kid. He's good. So he's got loads of leads coming in. He's got loads of deals on the table, but he's just sold his first deal. So the seller paid 190. He's in Dubai, wants to retire, just wants out. Andy got him down. Long story. Andy got him down to 105,000, which is 45% less than he bought it. 190 probably isn't the market, but it's definitely 20-30% BMV, this deal is, but it's a cracking deal. We found the investor. He's a hardcore negotiator. So basically, Andy's going to get around £2,500 because he did most of the work. So all his initial investment is back from his first deal that he sold. And I know he's got more coming in the pipeline. I've told the investor was like, well, I'll do the deal, but I'm not paying you all the fees that you want. So I had to negotiate. And I'm like, no, I'd rather get Andy like his money back because it proves they work, and we'll take a little bit less on this one. So I said, give us £1,000 and we'll share that. We'd share with West Midlands. So we'll keep 500 quid, and Stephen Roisin will keep 500 quid. But again, they've not been involved in this deal at all. So to them, it's like, hey, good, she got some money, and some of their 12 grand fees already back. And he's already referred several properties to auction. And if they sell, when they sell, then he's going to get multiple other like deals, commissions coming to him. And yeah, I know Andy's really good. He's going to do loads of deals, and we might actually promote him and get him to take on a region, because part of my job now is just talent ID. When I see people that are good, I'm like, yo, come work with us, come and help us negotiate deals. And if you prove that you can do that, like Andy did and Andy Tattersfield did, I grab them up and say, come work for us. So it's almost passive income for the region operators. That's a cracking deal from Andy. Well done. He's off skiing now. So yeah, well done, Andy. So this one is in Hereford. So Anita and Will bought Hereford for just 1,500 quid a few months ago. Andy Tattersfield, who works in our central triaging, central sales team, he spoke to the lead, motivated seller. He's British, but he lives in the Philippines, just wants to take his money out of the UK. There's a theme here. It's happening. Loads of our leads are people like that. That's living abroad. The apartment's worth 80 to 90 grand. Andy secured it for 50 grand. I was like, oh, Andy, we've sold Hereford. Great. And they bought it in cash. They knew it was a great deal. They put it, they did our rental blueprint, a little hack that I've got. They got above average rent for it, 850 for it. They're now going to remortgage it, take all their money out. SMHQ got a 2% commission for that deal, and we shared that with Andy because he did the work. I wasn't really involved in this. I spoke to Andy a little bit about it, and Anita and Will, but I wasn't involved at all, and neither was Sean or Dan. Stephen Roisin weren't on board, so we didn't have to give them commission because they weren't on board. But Anita and Will have gone back. The sellers come back to them and said, "Oh, do you want to buy another one?" And they're like, "Yeah, but a bit cheaper." So they're buying another one off them for 40k. So we'll get 2% of that. It's only, I think it's 800 quid, but Stephen Roisin will get 1%. But again, I think they knew about this one because they spoke to Anita last week. So it's more money in their bank. And this one
sorry to interrupt, just a quick time check, 15 minutes.
Yeah, cool. Thank you, mate.
No worries.
Renault bought Wolverhampton for £2,000 from us. SMHQ Wolverhampton, and Ben bought Willenhall. They're close to each other if you don't know the geography. I think 30th of December, I triaged a lead from this house in Wolves. I love places like this with like big gardens and places to extend. It's a little cul-de-sac. It was a nice seller, really cool, really, really realistic. But he was like, "Yeah, I know the score. I can't be bothered with the estate agents. I'll just sell it to you for cheap if you give me what I want." I sent it, our system, we sent it to Renault, and I was like, "Renault, you must call this man immediately. It's hot. And she did. She was really good. She visited the thing the same day or the next day, really good deal. She had a couple of calls or deal connects with me, and they've got it it's worth about 200 or 225. The guys accepted 145. So again, we'll get 2,900 for that. Stephen Roisin will get 1,450 passive income. That I don't think they knew about that until I told them today. So yeah, Rennie's a deal sourcer. So she was going to sell the deal. I was like, Rennie, you do realize this is like a no money left in deal waiting to happen. You can rent this for loads of money. It's a really good school on that cul-de-sac. So I was like, if I were you, I wouldn't sell the deal on. I'd do it yourself, go and get some money, borrow some money, or whatever, or buddy up with a more experienced investor and get 50% of it for life or for the next 10 years and the capital appreciation. Because if they bang an extension on that, it costs them some dough, but they get their money back in spades because it's a good area. And then she spoke to Willenhall, Sam was quickly with Willenhall Ben, and they're budding up, and he only paid £1,000 to join the SMHQ. So they both will get all their money back straight away from this. So yeah, it's 3 deals, all within the West Midlands, that Stephen Roisin, as the regional operators, will benefit from. And if you're interested in or thinking, well, why is it so expensive to be a regional operator? If I haven't convinced you yet, then let's try and do this. So let's see if this will work. So yeah, Stephen Roisin have bought SMHQ West Midlands. We've sent them over 70 leads in the last 2 to 3 months. They've contacted most of them, not all of them. We're going to be talking about that. And some of the deals were great, but they didn't quite fit Stephen Roisin's strategy. But we're going to work with them, Swinton today. So we'll do some training to try and make sure that they're sweating those dead leads. And I know they're in advanced negotiations for another 3 or 4 deals, but they're doing one deal that it's in Leek in Staffordshire, and I'm doing a deal in Leek in Staffordshire, so it's our second deal there. But we haven't sold Leek, and so it's in no man's land as far as we're concerned. So it went straight to Andy Chattersfield triaged this, and then he sent it to them. So this is in your area, or it's in the West Midlands. So away you go. They called them immediately. I think the asking price was 325 when the sale fell through. They're completing on this tomorrow, and this could be our best deal yet. I'm going to try and see. So this is what it looks like. Sean, I might need your help to play it. Let me see if it'll come through.
Oh, cool. Hi everyone, my name's Roisin and I'm the joint owner of Sell My House Quickly West Midlands with my business partner Steve. I wanted to jump on and tell you a little bit about our latest deal, which is a 3-bed end of terrace property in Leek, which is near the Peak District. After being triaged by the central team, the lead was sent through to us and we made the call pretty quickly. The seller was motivated because the background story is the seller is actually an 85-year-old man who wants to move nearly 350 miles away to be near his daughter. His wife unfortunately died last year. He had already fallen in love with a property in Scotland before he'd sold his property. So he needed to move quickly anyway. He had sold it on the open market, but unfortunately the sale fell through in December. If he doesn't complete on the purchase of the property in Scotland by the 25th of January, he was going to lose the deal on his dream home up in Scotland. And his daughter's priority, who has power of attorney, by the way, was just for her dad to be able to move up to Scotland and be near her and be in the house that he wants to be in. So really, they were happy to accept a significant discount because what was important to them was the timing. So knowing this information and after building a rapport with the vendor, we were able to strike a really good deal, a win-win situation for both us and for the vendor. The property was recently valued in its current state at around 300,000. They had sold it for 275,000 to make a quick sale on the open market. And this is the sale that obviously fell through. We have actually secured the deal at £190,000. Our plan for this property is to do a light renovation, like a fluff and buff, and to furnish it and then get it up on Airbnb and all the different OTAs as a lovely holiday let. So I'm really excited. We get the keys tomorrow. We're going to start the work on it on Monday, and we should have it up and ready on Airbnb by March. So I can't wait.
Cool. So that's a cracking deal. Like I said, it was up for 325. Then I think they dropped to 300. Then they took 275, and Stephen Roisin have got it for 190, which is great. So they're £12,000. They're getting their commissions, but their £12,000 that they give us, they've got it back 10 times over just on their first deal, and they're doing other deals as well. I don't know if can we try and get Steve to talk for a minute? Steve, I don't know if you're there, and I don't know how to do it. Let's see if you can pipe up, or Sean, can you try and patch Steve in, because I know they're working on other deals.
Yes, I can. Just a second.
Cool, thanks, mate. So yeah, okay, yes, Steve's coming. Can you hear me, Steve?
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi, mate. How's it going? So we've only got
very good.
Yeah, we've only got about a minute, Steve.
Yeah.
It's about some of the other deals that you're close to doing.
Yeah, no problem. So we are working on a deal in Warwickshire at the moment. A man going through, unfortunately, a divorce. Had the house on the market for a long time, and it won't sell. It needs work doing to it, and we want to achieve the full potential of the value of the house. So we're looking at doing an assisted sale with him at the moment. So we are going to do the refurb works, new kitchen, new bathroom, decoration, give the house a little bit of curb appeal. And those negotiations are still ongoing. But as Guillaume says, deals are made, not found. And he's certainly interested in doing something like that because it's become a pain point for him. And, the problem isn't going away. So he quite likes that idea. And then we've got another deal that we're working on in Stafford. A guy is converting his house from a 2-bedroom to a 4-bedroom house. He's run out of money and he's lost interest in the project. So we're looking again at doing an assisted sale where he'll get his money at the end. We'll take up the works, the extension works. It's going to involve more time. But again, we're in negotiations with him since before Christmas, and he's really interested in doing something creative, again, to get rid of his pain point. And he just wants to draw a line and move on with the next chapter in his life.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, mate. And that's a good example. This one in Leek, they're buying it and keeping it. So we'll take their 1%. But with an assisted sale, it's unfair of us to take 1%. So we'll just negotiate with Stephen Roisin and think about, are you making 20 grand here or 60 grand here? And maybe we'll take a percentage of not the actual purchase price, but the amount of money that they'll make from it, because that's fair. Thanks, Steve. That's really good. Thanks for.
No problem.
So yeah, I just want to tell you a little bit more. So, like I said, we identified that we weren't. Not everyone can take a 25% discount or more. Uh, and not all sellers can go that low. So what we're trying to do is monetize the dead leads, and there's several ways, but one of them that we've just introduced is we've partnered with national auction houses. So Rick in Manchester is a really good communicator. That's why he works in our sales team. He's a great negotiator. He tried a lead for us in central head office, SMHQ, and it was in Luton. He's not interested because he lives in Manchester. He had a 20-minute conversation and he persuaded the guy to try the auction route because it's no cost to the seller. So, it's a real, it's like almost like a free penalty. So Rick's like, try it because, you might get what you want, blah, blah, blah. I'm not interested because we're too far away and we didn't have someone quickly, excuse me, Luton. We've got like loads of marketing paraphernalia that like helps us to sell it, send that to them. And then, honestly, kind of forgot about it. About a month later, it sold, and Rick had forgotten. And we just got an email saying, "Hey, we owe you some commission." So it was like, 2,625 quid. You don't even have to wait for completion. As soon as the gavel goes down, it's like it's sold. We get paid. We share the commission with you guys. So this is what we're going to be working on, Stephen Roshi, and although some of those leads that are dead, we're going to try and turn them into cash. And it's like with our system, it's one click. We send it to the seller, send all the marketing material to the seller. I did one today and she's really interested. And that's like a 300 grand house. So yeah, we could get like a good commission on that. So we're going to do a live training next week to show all our members how to position it and turn the dead leads into income. Lots of people are like really into stats. So between August 2024 to August 2025, we had over 1,700 leads, about 10 or 15% are junk leads. But then about 45% of our leads were organic and about 55 were for paid for ads, mainly for Meta. And we worked out that we basically spent £9.50 a day, and that generated, just from Facebook, 621 leads. So at 2.0, we reduced the initial cost, and then regional operators have to pay £200 a month on marketing, and some town city operators like Andy or Rick, because they do deals, choose maybe £10 a day for 1 or 2 weeks. So, and centrally, we spend more on advertising, and our goal is to get to £100 a day on advertising on Facebook or ChatGPT. And so in the whole year of 2025, we've done some stats today. We got 1,300 leads. 400 were organic. So there's lots more coming from Facebook leads because we're spending lots more. And from those leads, you're not allowed to ask for, you might not know this, but you're not allowed to ask for postcodes on Facebook. That will definitely get you banned. So we have to be a bit more creative. So we got 840 postcodes, and 470 got past the network members. So there's a problem there, isn't it? There's like, number one, we need to get more postcodes. So that's fixing the triaging, but sometimes we just can't get hold of people. That's why the AI will help us. But also, we didn't have, because we haven't sold all the regions, we don't have places to send some leads. And then just in December, we did the sums. We had 262 leads. Only 40 of them were organic in December because we really bumped up our Facebook advertising. Because, when people are cheesed off and they're getting divorced or they're going to sell that property that they've been thinking about. So we just went a bit mad and we got 100 leads with postcodes. And we managed to pass 159. So sometimes we get a lead. So Rasheen and Steve are always advertising for West Midlands, but we don't get the postcodes on the Facebook ads, but we still send them the lead and then we work together. So that's like some of the ads. And then we had a look at where the leads are coming from. And surprise, surprise, we've sold West Midlands. So they've got the most amount of leads along with Southeast, and we've sold that region. So why I'm showing you this is where we've sold regions. And you can say the ones at the bottom at the moment, the Northeast, we haven't got many leads from the Northeast, but we haven't built any websites in the Northeast. We don't have any activity in the Northeast. So I know that if we build SMHQ quickly Sunderland and SMHQ quickly Durham, SMHQ quickly Newcastle and SMHQ quickly Northeast, and we push adverts there, this will change dramatically. So the reason we're showing you this is to say wherever we're really active in the West Midlands, because that's where we live and that's where we're based. So that's why we're doing deals in the West Midlands. But what we want to do is spark every region, and sell lots of towns and cities within each region. And if we do that, I'm really confident that we can generate loads of leads. These leads here are just where we've had bona fide postcodes. We've got far more leads that we haven't found out the postcodes yet, or the sellers messing about, or blah blah blah. But our plan is to try and use AI and our central sales team to get more postcodes from every lead. I won't have time to demo the CRM. If you're really interested, then maybe we can do that another time. Just send us an email or a message, and we're really happy because it is really good. So if you think about joining us, we've already sold about 64 towns and cities, but there's lots more available. I'm sitting on 500 domain names. We sold 3 regions. We're in negotiations for another 4. But if you're interested, let us know. But there are 9 available, and we really want partners in all these regions. So the ones that we really want to sell, and like I said, we don't have load. We've got leads. We've got kind of leads that we can give you straight away if you come in, and we can try and work them together. But it's Scotland, the Southwest, Northern Ireland, Wales, Northeast, and every part of London apart from West London. We sold West London, and Patricia's getting leads. So yeah, if you're in any of those areas, or if you're thinking about getting a town and city, but you think, oh, actually, I'd quite like, maybe I could do the regional role, then let us know ASAP. And then lastly, next steps. We've got a free WhatsApp group where some deals go in there. So if you're not in that, do that QR code and join the WhatsApp group. If you're fairly interested or a little bit interested and you want to learn more, click on this one and give us your name, number, email address, because PIN are hosting this. We don't have GDPR. We can't get your name, number, email address. So we might never hear from you again. So definitely do this one. Give us your name, number, email address. Tell us where you invest, and we'll get back to you. But if you think, yo, this is great, I want 100 grand off the house price, like the one in Leek that Steve and Roisin are doing, and you want to apply, everybody has to apply. It takes about 10 minutes. If you click that one, just scroll down and fill out the application form and tell us a little bit about you, and then we'd love to talk to you. And then what we're also doing is, for those that we don't have any time for questions now, but right now, I think Sean is going to whack this, or whack this in the chat. If you register now, I'm coming back in 2 minutes to do questions. And if you're really interested and you want to beat the competition, because once SMHQ Quickly Scotland goes, it's gone, maybe forever. And if 2 people or 6 people want it, it's almost like it's not quite the first person to apply. We're going to kind of have a chat and see that we're a good fit. But we're going to do, you can apply. Oh, we didn't put the link in. Maybe we can put the link in, Sean, in the chat or in the next one.
The link's in the chat, and also there's another slide after this,
awesome.
I think.
Yeah, okay, cool, awesome. Yeah, cool. Yeah, so we'll whack that on there. So yeah, here we are. Thanks, Sean. So yeah, so for the chat in a minute, that was going to start in about 2 minutes' time. Go there, and if you know that you want to join us and get some leads and great deals, you're definitely interested, number 1, make sure that you apply. And then number 2, book in a one-to-one with myself on either tomorrow or Friday. If you're just thinking about it and you haven't applied, then we won't do the call. We want to talk initially to people that really want to join us. I've been doing calls yesterday and the day before, and we've got about 6 people want to join us, and they're going to get the priority. So yeah, that's about it. I know that I did see that there are loads of chat things. I've not looked at any of them. Sean, could you summarize them, and then we can do them in the next bit?
Yeah, the main takeaway, I think, thank you for everyone's input on AI. And I think the consensus was it's better to let people know that it's AI.
Okay, that's really good. Yeah, because sometimes I hate it, and I'm just it's decent. And anything...
Sasha and Catherine, everyone commenting you can't click on the links. So those are just QR codes if you've got a mobile, but the links are actually in the chat where you've just asked. Okay. So if you just look in the chat there, the links are there for you.
Yeah. So maybe bang them in again, and then we'll just wait for a minute. But if everybody, can people just go straight there, Sean, or do they have to?
Yeah, I think we'll probably log off in a second and go straight onto that Zoom and kick it off.
Cool. Yeah, so if everybody just if you've got some FAQs, I won't be doing presenting for the next half an hour. I'll just be answering your questions. I'm sure there are loads of questions, but we do have lots of other webinars, and if you register on this one as well, the middle one, we can.
Bear with me a second, Lee. Sorry, a lot of people are saying they can't actually see the links in the chat.
Ah.
Can anyone comment that you can see the links?
Can you bang them again? It might just be that they've gone down and they're not scrolling back. I can see them.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Okay.
Yeah, cool.
Give me a thumbs up if you can see these.
Yeah. Greg has, Amy has. Yeah, cool. I think, Sean, every now and again, every 30 seconds, bang them in. That's the problem. Is because it's scrolling.
Okay. I'm going to repost the main links, and then I'll post the link again for the one-to-one call and also the Zoom that's coming up in a second.
Even if we said we're going to start it at 8:10, we'll do that because we'll let people register it.
If everyone can stop commenting now. Sorry, it sounds a bit rude. Stop commenting. So just so the links can stay there for people to grab. Thank you.
Yeah. And I'll get some water, and then we'll start it at 8:10, and we can go for like as long as everybody wants to actually. I'm not doing anything tonight. If there are any like really, really pressing questions, then just come along in 5 minutes. Anything that I really missed, Sean? I don't think so.
No, actually, no. I have to apologise. I think possibly no one has seen any of my comments through the entirety of the Zoom. Okay. So I was replying to everyone's questions, and I think my answers were only going to Lee. So apologies, everyone, if you'd asked me a question or said something and no one had said anything back. I had commented, and I've only just figured out that only Lee can see those. So many apologies. But yeah, you've got the links there now, and I'm going to jump onto that Zoom and start letting people in.
Cool. And we'll get all the we'll get this chat, and if anyone has asked anything, we'll come back to you as well.